Hey, good morning, everybody. Oh, let me get my mic. Sorry. Sorry about that. I was too busy painting and didn't realize I didn't have my microphone in front of me. I even forgot today was Wednesday, thinking it was Thursday. I wasn't going to do a show, man. I tell you what, everything that's going on with the cough, I just is really thrown kind of the days out of whack, out of focus. I don't know about you all, but I've definitely, everything just kind of starting to blend together for me. So anyways, here we are. I'm John with FNP Wargamers, and this is the FNP Morning Show. Let us talk about the gaming news that's going on out there. First, let's go ahead and do our customary Games Workshop coverage. So, not sure how I feel about this, but those of you that are interested in this lore that's out there, if you're just dying to spend some of that stimulus check on something from Games Workshop, they have, for a very limited time, just this week only, it turns out, some very old campaigns from about 2 years ago, I believe, maybe 3. I think around 2018 these came out. So the Red Wall, Hour of the Wolf, these were there were some box sets, and then there was these campaign books. And I'm going to tell you, hey, good morning, Nam. I'm going to tell you right now that the Red Wall and the Hour of the Wolf, the whole Sanctus Reach thing, and Warzone Damocles, those also came out. Cayenne, and Montka, however you say these alien communist terms or words. These all are based on 7th edition rules. They are not current storyline. They are not current edition rules. However, they are full also of lore about what had gone on during those times. Games Workshop has put them up for individual sale, I think at a price of about $8.25 a piece. Or if you want to buy the entire bundle of everything, it is you're looking at $27.50. Oh, excuse me, $27.50 for just the Warzone Damocles, or if you want to, and I think it's $8.25 for the other ones, or $43.99 if you want to get all the gosh darn books. I'm just putting out the caveat one more time that this is from 7th edition around 2017, actually 17, 18, right before 8th edition. So I think 2017. So keep that in mind when you're like, oh my gosh, I can get this stuff and it's going to be amazing. It's going to boost up my armies. It's not. It's not going to help your armies gameplay wise. You might find some cool bits of lore in there to help formulate your own theme for your army. Yes. But all the rules in there are old. They're archaic. They actually have been redone several times, at least twice they've been revised since then for 8th edition, maybe even 3 times if you count the indexes. So, buyer beware. Buyer beware. So I don't want to talk too much about that because we got a bunch of other stuff I want to talk about. There's a lockdown update for Games Workshop, and how does this help you? Maybe you don't involve yourself with Games Workshop product, but if with these early signs of them doing limited store openings across the world this week, starting this week, that might be a sign that you're maybe 1 or 2 of your local gaming stores, because a lot of stores were closed down until like the 30th of April, that you might start seeing some of your friendly local game stores opening their doors for people to actually come in and shop. Most of your local game stores are open for curbside delivery or payment and everything. So you can go online, like Atomic Hobby Shop, I know, are set up for that. And at least Ed Games and Hobbies, I believe Asgard and Fat Ogre Games and Comics, at least here in the Houston area, are open to do this for you guys. You could call them or shop online and go pick up, do curbside pickup. And some of them are doing even free shipping. I think Ed Games and Hobbies is doing free shipping for $100 or more. I mean, if you buy over $100, which is very easy to do with board games and such. Or I believe if you're in the Houston area, Atomic Hobby Shop is sending out for free as well. Okay, thank you. Nam just said Dragon's Lair North Houston is also going to do curbside pickup. So this is good. Now, mind you, all this is going to probably get cleared up in the next couple weeks. Maybe we'll see. I'm personally nervous that with the cough that's going on right now, and I have to call it the cough. I can't call it what it is. I've had a couple videos taken down from YouTube because I used some key terms, I mean, it's really weird. A couple videos using actual bona fide nomenclature, that governmental nomenclature and medical stuff, they've taken it down. So I got to call it the cough. So with the cough going on right now, some stores are opening up. However, I'm curious to see what's going to happen. There's a rush. It feels like there's a rush to get have business as usual with some restrictions, and it's a little. Maybe I'm a little bit more pragmatic, thinking let's be cautious. I know we want to get the economy and everything going, but I'm a little worried that we're going to rush into us, and then we're going to get a new secondary wave of infections. But I'm not a medical expert. The only thing I can tell you all is be safe, be careful with the cough going on. Even after everything opens back up, whether it's staged or mass opening, please be careful, wash your hands, do social distancing and everything. Yes, all the Karens need their haircuts, or they're going to want to talk to your managers. Thank you, Nam. I appreciate that. So anyways, what this means is that if you don't have a local game store, but you do have a Games Workshop or Warhammer store being the new branding that they have for the Games Workshop franchise, for their franchise store, or not franchise stores, but their retail stores, there might be opening up in your area. First, always go to your friendly local game store. Please, please, please go to them. Even before you go to eBay, ladies and gents, even if you don't have like a local game store that can do curbside delivery or free local shipping, still look for, because I know we've got people from all across the world or all across the U.S. also, up in Canada, Africa, whatever. Now, everybody in the different nations, it's probably not ideal to order from our local place, but if you're definitely here in the U.S., ordering through the different web stores, they can still ship it out, and you're going to be paying shipping fees plus the regular price. Now, if you're shopping for stuff on eBay, you're going to be paying a premium. We've seen stuff like the primers going up, primers and shades from Citadel going up like ridiculous price increases, like a couple 100%. We've seen miniatures going for more. Usually around, I've seen them double for just basic stuff like Space Marine intercessors. I saw intercessors for $100. That's almost double the price of it, just because you can't access it right now. Known oil for like 20 some odd dollars. I mean, it's known oil, Agrax Earthshade, some of the Citadel's new airline were. I mean, I'm just like, come on, man. There's no need to jack up the prices that much. You're not. It's very frustrating. So shop local, or look for game stores in your state or your area, or people like I said, Vadua Games and Comics. I don't know if they're shipping outside of the state, but I know Eden Games and Comics, Eden Games and Hobbies in Humboldt, Texas, and of course the Atomic Hobby Shop in Cypress, Texas. They do ship. So reach out to them first before you go spend $50 for a can of primer on eBay. All right, enough of that. Just watch. We're going to keep you guys up to date on these openings in the U.S. and the UK and across the world as they happen. There's one little tidbit. I told you guys about the Psychic Awakening story that popped up about the Traitor Primaris Marines, and I've been racking my brain and gone back and forth with members of my own community. And I think I finally am able to articulate my disappointment with this. There's a couple of these people think that I'm upset that the Primaris are traitors. I'm not. I don't care that there's a possibility that Primaris were going to be able to turn traitor. That, when GW put that blanket statement out there, they're not affected by their gene seed curse, and they're also uncorruptible. I'm like, come on, really? You're going to go with that? You're going to lead us to believe that? Mm-mm. Not true. And as soon as they showed it with the Blood Angels, the Intercessors be able to become a Death Company, I was like, come on, guys. We're not that dumb. And then it was only inevitable that we would see Traitor Guardsmen and Traitor Custodes at some point. It's inevitable. Or not Traitor Guardsmen, Traitor Primaris Space Marines. So it was only a matter of time. Now, my issue is not that they've done that. My issue is the poor storytelling here. I'm not sure who the author is. I don't even think they tell us who the author is. Maybe at the end of the story. Let's see. No, they don't even tell us who the author is of this. That's disappointing because I'd like to make fun of them. Anyways, my issue with this story, it is a cool story for sure. I think it was just poorly done. I think if you're going to reveal something as momentous as the uncorruptible Primaris Space Marines being labeled and being treated as traitor Space Marines, then you should have done it in a way that would have made sense. And especially when we have the buildup of Fabius Bile and the agents of Bile and all the tinkering he's been doing with the Custode bodies and the Primaris bodies, that would have made more sense. This story it's a weak story. Not too happy about it. That is my beef, is that it was just poorly done. I expect more from them. So I'm just refreshing. So there was also, and I don't know if it's free to play. I'm trying to find it here on their, there we go. I have not delved into this, but Warhammer Underworlds launched yesterday, Warhammer Worlds Online. I have not played it, but there is a bunch of free stuff involved with getting it, some free cards, and looks like it's a mobile game. I'm sure you can find it. Oh, it is on Steam today. I am not too much. I don't know too much about it. I'm going to be totally honest, because even though I like the concept of Underworlds, especially with it being a competitive play, I'm not too like, oh my gosh, I gotta get this. It looks more like very static. I don't think there's any animation involved. I think all they did was digitize their miniatures and then give them kind of a new skin. Oh, it's $23.99 on Steam. Thank you, Nam. I appreciate that. So, this is kind of cool that they've done this, but my guess is that there's no animation involved. Just kind of looking at this. There could be. I don't know. It's going to be very limited. But, it's still a cool thing. And for $23.99, be able to play all the different war bands and really learn how to play, because it looks like it is a tabletop to PC 100% faithful conversion. I see all the different cards there. You have your different turns. They have the tiles on there to see how far you can move. Oh, there are animations. Okay, that's good. I was a little concerned there weren't going to be any animations. So, it looks like you get, at launch you get 6 war bands. So that's actually not bad. That's pretty much Season 1 and Season 2, I believe, almost. I think it's almost both, or definitely the first season, possibly a little bit of second season of Warhammer Underworld. So cool that they've done this. I'm hoping that it includes everything, including magic. I'll look a little bit more into it. Thank you for the link. If it's in the description, I'll make sure if when I try to put this on YouTube again, since I have not mentioned what the cough is, its actual terminology, I should be okay. So we'll get that copied and pasted up into the description, or down in the description as well on YouTube. We'll see if this works this time. And I'm also going to go ahead, since that the other day, when I mentioned the free guide from Angel Giraldez, and I still don't know if I'm butchering his name, the painting guide that I mentioned the other day, the free one, I'm going to go and put that link there. also. In fact, while I'm here, I'm going to put it in this link just in case anybody needs it. And it's definitely a good guide. So anyways, if you're interested in Warhammer Underworlds, you've always wanted to play it or give it a try, but you don't want to invest all the money into it and buy the painting or go back to painting and building all these models, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Especially if you like playing video games, you'd rather do this as a video game, this is your opportunity. The link's in the description right here, and I will have it in the description for over on the YouTube as soon as I can copy and paste. All right, moving on. That's there's still Games Workshop doesn't have once again a lot of news. If you've been kind of keeping up with everything that's going on, you understand why. Right now they're doing a lot of highlighting a lot of their old stuff just to keep people A, interested in a hobby, and B, make a little bit of extra money, which is totally understandable. Regicide, Freeblade, Legacy of Dorn, Herald of Oblivion. I didn't even heard of this. I don't even know what that one is. I'm going to have to definitely take a look at that. That looks interesting. Interesting. All right. Enough of Games Workshop. Well, not quite. I have an Hey, good morning, Grandpa Strange. Okay, I'll pull up an image here in a second. Let's talk about rumors and leaks. I'm clearing off my screen here so I can put up a couple pictures. Since the Primaris Space Marines dropped a couple years ago, 2 years ago now, I think, or a little bit over 2 years ago, everybody's been speculating on what's next. We know that there's Primaris Bikers coming up next. We've known that for about a year now, actually. We just had some rough confirmation, heavily pixelated images and some sort of heavy land speeder or another type of a repulsor type vehicle with looked like missile pods on the back, and the other images we weren't sure, but they looked like close combat Primaris Space Marine, which is something that the Primaris Space Marines are missing right now in their unit choices, is a dedicated close combat unit. The closest we have is either a bunch of combat wielding Primaris Reavers or the Boltstorm gauntlets or the Flamestorm gauntlets that the aggressors have. So not really dedicated to close combat, but they are their option, or given a Thunderhammer to a sergeant in an intercessor squad. That's the extent of their close combat capabilities squad wise. Even with their HQs, nobody's really a dedicated type of character, except maybe some of the actual named characters, like Shrike or maybe Corsoro Khan. At any rate, there was. Let me pull up the first image here, and I've seen this pop up in several places, but I always forgot to save the picture, but thankfully there's an article on Spiky Bits, I know, and they put that up on there and they were talking about it, and I tell you, I've been ignoring it, but I can't really ignore it now since somebody else is talking about it. They were talking like this might be the new some of the rumors out there have been like, hey, we're getting Primaris Terminators. Part of the reason why they said it is because those look different than the regular Terminators. Excuse me. Look a little bit bigger, a little bit more stretched out than the regular Terminators do, almost Primaris size. And especially if you look at other Terminator models, you can definitely see the difference. I called shenanigans. I think pretty much everybody with half a brain called shenanigans, mainly because the armor that they have, it's still Terminator armor. So if the Primaris Space Marines are not going to fit in Terminator armor, and Games Workshop is not going to retrofit the old armor, they're going to get brand new armor, and it's going to be totally revamped. It's not going to look like this, or very unlikely it's going to look like this. And somebody was thankfully found the image I was looking for, and is an old Deathwing card game. So I want you to take a look at. I'm sorry, I'm covering up the screen here. I'll see if I can match these two up. These two gentlemen right here, side by side. This Sergeant Arbalon. Look at his pose. And then look at his pose to the left of him. Or my left, your left. His right, our left. You know what I mean? Follow the arrow on this card and look over here. It's the exact same model. I don't know what the type of artwork this was. This could have just been some kind of crappy digital art. I'm not sure. And then this guy right here, I think it's this one right here. Looks very much like him, but he's just pivoted differently, or there might be actually a different card. I was looking at the total list. Regardless, the point being is that these images of the Primaris Terminators, or the new Terminator models coming, no. I'm not saying that there won't be a Primaris type Terminator model, but they're probably going to be in the Gravis armor first off, or a new version of the Gravis armor, because they've got to push the narrative that the Mark 10 armor that the Primaris Marines are using is that versatile. So it's very likely that what we will see in the future, if they do get a Terminator style model, is going to be the Gravis armor, which is just the upgraded or up armored Mark 10 armor being boosted or modified in a way to incorporate some sort of invulnerable save, like what the Terminator armor does the Terminator armor with the Crux Terminatus. That's the little chink that they've got, little thing over here on their shoulder pad that supposedly houses some sort of protective device. So, long story short, if you see this image over here, I'm going to get rid of this one so we don't get those mistaken. If you see this image running around and people are like, "Oh, look, we're going to get Terminators or new Terminators or new Primaris Terminators," it's bull. At least based on this picture. Could it happen? I'll give it like less than 1% chance. Maybe even a 1% chance to be generous, but very likely not. So, and I got one other thing, and I want to thank my local group for Marvel Crisis Protocol. They found the picture because I totally forgot to watch the video feed. I'm trying to find the picture right now. Did not watch the video feed from the Atomic Mass games, and it's my bad. Kind of hard to report on something if you don't watch it. So what we have here is the new Thanos model. At least they didn't do a full unboxing for us. I don't think we got to see the rules or everything, but we got to see the actual Thanos model that is coming. So looks like there's two versions of two different builds that you can do. One with the Infinity Gauntlet. Oh, no unboxing yet. Thanks, Nom. I appreciate that. So you've got, and actually, Nom's in that group. He might have actually been the one to reveal that picture. If it was, I really appreciate it. Anyways, so looks like it's the same pose, but you can either give him the Infinity Gauntlet or without the Infinity Gauntlet. But what's also kind of cool is that you're getting this massive, or pretty massive piece of terrain. I imagine this guy's going to be about $40, $45. You're going to get the normal things like his character card, 2 tactics card, that's very standard, 6 Infinity Gem cards. So it looks like you're going to get all the Infinity Gems. Okay, I appreciate that. 40 tokens. Yeah, Nom's 40 tokens. That's huge. That's one of the things that this game's been missing. The only way you've been getting it really depends on what type of tokens. Are they cardboard tokens or are they acrylic tokens? If they're acrylic tokens, they're going to up the price. And the only way we've seen official acrylic tokens is through their Initiation League and their Crisis Event League. That's the only way to get their tokens. Then it also has the Ultimate Encounter Rulebook, which is cool because we have not seen an actual rulebook that's free online. The Throne Terrain feature I just mentioned. 2 different bases. That's cool. And, of course, the Thanos miniature. My guess is this bad boy is going to be about $40 at minimum. At minimum. I'm betting he's going to be about $50 to $60. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I mean, I've never really been a huge Thanos fan, but that miniature is very impressive. He's going to be a delight to paint, especially with all that the muscles and everything. We're going to be able to really delve into different layering, so we can pull off what they've got going on there. I mean, that guy has not missed leg day. I'm going to tell you right now, he has not missed leg day. With thighs like that, those quads, and his, you can probably tell that unless he's got some big boots on, he does not skimp on doing his calves at all. He definitely does not miss leg day. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun to paint him, especially with the different types of textures he's got there with his costume or his uniform, whatever you want to call it. And so it's going to be, and then the different colors, and oh man, it's going to be a lot of fun to paint him. So I'm looking forward to that one for sure. So let me delve back here. Thanks, I really do appreciate that, Dom, for finding that little thing for us. That's really cool. And I'm glad I missed it and somebody else didn't. Also, in mainly Games Workshop news, but in some other news, the ATC, which is the American Team Championship, this is how we create essentially Team America for all these games that travel really kind of across the pond. They'll go over to Europe to compete against European teams, or actually worldwide teams, in these different games. For example, Warhammer 40,000 is the one I know of the most. I can't attest to the other one, so I apologize. But I believe it's a 6 or 8 man team now. I believe it might be just a 6-man team of people, and there's lots of restrictions on how each of you build your armies, what can be in it, and everything. And they go over and compete against these other teams across the world. And the only way that you can do it is by being invited. And to be the American team, the ATC team, or the American or Team America, is by attending ATC. And from there, they pick their people to be, or they invite the top players to the team. And I imagine if somebody's like, no, I don't want to play, which I imagine is rare, but if they're like, I don't want to play, I don't want to go overseas, I imagine that they have a roster of, okay, well, who's our backup to backups? Let's have a roster. Let's double our roster size for our backup. So the point being is that because of the cough, the 2020 ATC is going to be canceled, or has been canceled. They're still working on the dates and a couple of things. If you were attending this, or you've already bought your tickets, or you know somebody has, they're asking, and you can go to their Facebook page to get a little bit more detail. They're asking that, yeah, you can get a refund. However, we would greatly appreciate if you would just pay it forward, so to speak. Just use the ticket price that you paid for this year and apply it to next year. And that way we can still fund the event for next year. Everything's still going to be good. We just want to, we just don't have to go through the process of returning money, because really at the end of the day, when you start refunding money, there's a loss. There's a financial loss, because one side or the other is going to have to pay a certain amount of money to refund that. It might be only a couple dollars, but when you have a couple hundred people getting refunds, now it becomes several $100s that you are now hemorrhaging, when you could just say, hey guys, let us just save the money. You got your spot next year for 2021. So something to consider. So just something to consider. And if you've ever been, this is your first time even hearing about ATC, because it takes place in Chattanooga, I believe. Yeah, in Tennessee. And even though that they're going to be opening sometime next month, supposedly, for business and stuff, they are still looking at peak infection rates of the cough happening around June timeframe. I'm giving you guys the glaze over of what their announcement is. So definitely head over to Facebook and look up American Team Championship, or ATC, like ATC 40K or whatever. You'll find it, or there might even be a link on this page. No, there's not. and you can at least find out what's going on, get a lot more detailed if you're interested. So it's a little disappointing, and it's a little scary because with them canceling that, we've lost our Dallas and our Dallas Open, which is supposed to be at the beginning of May, and we're not sure. I think as of right now, the May Alamo GT in San Antonio is supposed to still go on, but who knows what's going to happen. So as of right now, they're still going, but who knows. And then, of course, in June, we have the El Paso Desert Rat GT. And, of course, it was already announced that Bell of Lost Souls event that was supposed to be in July, BowlsCon, I think, not July, but in the second week of June has been canceled. So that's at least 2 out of 5, 6 Texas events have been canceled. As of right now, Wargames Con in July is supposed to still be going on. And as far as we know, Desert Rat and El Paso is still going on. And as far as we know, and we've now been back into communication with the hotel that we are still going to be looking at either late September, early October for Warzone Houston. So some of our events are going to go off. I'm a little nervous about our front half. Hopefully San Antonio will still be able to do theirs. I'm sorry that Dallas Open couldn't do theirs. And BowlsCon, this is, I think, their first year back after, I don't know, like 8 years, 10 years. And then El Paso, I'm really hoping on, because it's a fun event. If you ever get a chance, head to El Paso. It's a bit of a drive. I think it's about a 12-hour drive, but it's worth it. It's a fantastic event. And then Wargames Con is always a blast. And then finally, of course, Warzone Houston is the best. So we'll see how these events pan out. So anyways, moving on. So I put up in a description here. I just wanted to kind of refresh the article over on redgrassgames.com, and I put the link in the description. It takes you right to the page. There is a miniature painting guide by Angel Giraldez. This guy is he's an award-winning painter, and you can read his little bio here. He's really well known for most of his stuff being over in the Corvus Belli or the Infinity games. He's put out some fantastic choice painting guides, and they're around $30 to $50. And I've got one of them around here somewhere. Actually, I've got 2. Anyways, it is an excellent opportunity for you guys to learn some basic techniques. He goes everything from some products that we would recommend that you use, the color theory, dilution, basically how much medium do I use, how much water do I use, how do I thin it down, what does 1-to-1 mean or 2-to-1, brush handling, and with something I've stressed in the game, blending techniques. And then painting techniques, basic techniques, and probably the most one I gave it a quick look over, and I'm going to be trying it today. I've got a whole bunch of Bear Space Marine heads. They're still on sprue. I'm just gonna prime them, and I'm going to practice eyes. His eye guide looks very simple. I'm going to give it a try, and I'll walk you guys through it if I manage to pull it off. I've got about a little bit over a dozen sprues with about 2 to 3 of those bear heads on. So I've got about 20 models to test this on. So we'll see how that goes. If it goes great, man, I'm definitely going to pass that bit of knowledge on. At any rate, this is free. And the description's there. I'll make sure the description shows up in the YouTube video. But there's so much good stuff in here, guys. So much good stuff. And you can easily find the stuff like, of course, Redgrass is going to pimp their own product, but they've got wet palettes you can get from the Army Painter that might be about the same price. I don't know how good it is compared to theirs. These are things that I'm going to recommend. Theirs looks actually kind of cool. I couldn't tell you if theirs is top quality or not. I imagine they're putting a lot behind it. So they've got some really cool miniature handles that might be a little bit cooler. I might even look at getting one of these. Oh yeah, hey, good call, Grandpa Strange. I'll record all of it from beginning to end. I have not tried these painting handles, but this is definitely interesting. I want to see how, I'm going to look more into this because these painting handles that Games Workshop has, my biggest beef with them, I don't know if you've seen them, is they clamp on and they hold those models down really well. However, if I want to get at a certain angle, I'm hitting this edge. Now this new one that's up on here, or the one that they've got on here, this RGG 360, looks really interesting. So I'm going to look a little bit more into it and maybe even I might even purchase one just to give it a product test. That looks like it'd be a lot easier to use. So I'll keep you guys updated on that one. My point is that this is an excellent free painting guide for beginners and experts. Unless you are even if you are an award-winning Golden Demon or Gold Medal or Reaper award-winning painter, man, you can still learn something. Yeah, there's always more to learn. There's always ways to improve your painting. So that over there on Redgrass Games, free miniature painting book from him and from Angel Giraldez, and it looked like I have not looked through it yet, but step-by-step miniature painting tutorial by Duke. I don't know who Duke is, but I'm going to give it a look over. Mainly what caught my eye was that he has done the Batman miniatures, and I think that is from the Batman miniatures, not Batman miniatures, but the board game for Batman, Gotham Knights. So I'm going to take a look at that. It looks like that. I don't know for sure, but we're going to find out. At any rate, I'll take a look at that. Looks like this could be a very interesting guide. It looks like it's very short. At any rate, guys, that's all I have for news today. I do intend to do a painting show tonight at 7 p.m., an actual bona fide painting show, paint and chat. I've got a lot of work for the RPG because I'm just about ready to move it from all its components to one big guide for play testing, for at least for the alpha testing, before we move, of course, to beta testing. So that is that I've only got a little bit of more work to do. Really, it's just some editing I need to do for because I had an epiphany yesterday while I was working on it, and I realized that something I was doing was along the right. I was on the right path, but I was like all jagged. I was just all over the place, like kind of wandering around. And then I realized, if I go from A to B, it's a lot more efficient instead of A to C to D to E to F to G to come back around to B, if you know what I mean. So I figured it out, and now I'm going back and doing some cleanup. But point being, we are going to probably start alpha testing this weekend. Yay. And then hopefully by the end of May, we'll be ready to move it from the alpha to the beta, and then start getting definitely local people involved in our beta testing of this RPG. There's going to be, of course, some non-disclosure agreements, etc., etc. And then once we start that beta, then I've got 3 artists kind of on the hook, and I'm going to be like, hey, I think I've changed my mind. Instead of using all of them, I'm going to give them a project and say, hey, I need you guys to do 5 pieces of art, just rough art sketches, and whoever fits the field that I'm looking for, boom, you got it. So if not, then I've got a couple other contacts that'll help me, or a website that'll help me find artists worldwide. But if you guys do have some people that are good artists that take a look at some RPG books, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you got somebody that might be interested, hit me up on Facebook and let me know, and I will reach out to them and I'll add them to the queue. Anyways, so if everything works out, then we'll be done beta testing before the end of summer, and then start on putting everything together, throwing in the art, and hopefully by winter, my goal is by September, October, to go to Kickstarter, and then for either 30 or 45 days, I'm not sure which, but 30 to 45 days, and I'm only looking at the longer Kickstarter time frame just because people will be recovering from the cough and everything that's happened globally. And of course, it'll be the holiday season, so I gotta really be a little bit mindful in there. And then hopefully before spring of 2021, release the product. Yay! We'll see. Lots of plans. At any rate, that's a little bit of news just from me. Anyways, you guys have yourself a wonderful day, and I'm hoping you guys are being safe, doing your social distancing, washing your hands. Make sure you guys take a look at those 2 different things in there. Nam put up the Warhammer Underworlds online link in Steam, and I've put up the link for Redgrass Games, the free painting books. There's 2 of them in there. I did not look at the one from Duke, but definitely the one from Angel. And I'll see you guys tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time, for just paint and chat. We're going to be doing, let's see here. We're going to do Marvel Crisis Protocol. We're going to do Thousand Suns and some more Iron Snakes. Yeah, so we're going to do 3. All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.